Coming up on Network Africa, Senegal's parliament delays election to December 15th after Monday's chaotic vote. Medical charity Doctors Without Borders say about 13 children die each day of severe malnutrition in Sudan's northern Darfur. Plus, South Africa faces hefty increase in fuel prices amidst the global turmoil. Hello and welcome to the program today. I'm Layo Olarinde. We'll begin in Senegal, where the parliament has voted to postpone its elections till the end of the year. Members of parliament had gathered on Monday to discuss the proposal by President Macky Sall after he made a weekend announcement of moving the election date because of what he called a dispute between the National Assembly and the Constitutional Court over the rejection of candidates. Well, reports say it was a chaotic vote as opposition lawmakers were forcibly removed from the chamber as they debated the president's earlier decision to delay the crucial election. Parliamentary backing came late on Monday when 105 MPs in the 165-seat assembly voted in favor of the measure, which delays the election until December 15 and is keeping Mr. Sall in office until his successor is installed. Well, the bill initially set an election date for August 25, but the president, who has served the maximum 2 terms, was originally due to leave office on April 2nd. Well, as the lawmakers debated the bill on Monday, security forces fired tear gas at protesters who had gathered outside the parliament in Dakar, burning tires and criticizing the decision. Well, joining us now on the program is Madi Kamara, Senegalese journalist in Dakar, for more on this. Hello, Madi. Thank you so much for your time on the program. Talk to us more about Monday's event, the debate by the members of parliament, which eventually led to a December 15th date. We understand some opposition lawmakers were also forcibly removed from the chamber and security forces and protesters clashing. Tell us more about what happened yesterday.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Indeed, a lot happened yesterday. Since the morning, people have been waiting for what's going to be the last decision from the National Assembly, whether the law is going to pass or not. So people were just in the streets. You can see that people are not happy. There were little protests here and there in some neighborhoods, and police, of course, intervened very quickly and dispersed the protesters. And there were a lot of journalists and opposition members and presidential party members in the National Assembly since almost the whole day until 2 a.m. Last night, and it was kind of bit tricky and very complicated between the two groups of lawmakers in Senegal. Some of them thinking that it shouldn't even be voted, and they were trying to avoid the vote, to block the vote, and others are ready to vote because they want the law to pass, which is the majority on the presidential party members. So there have been a lot of clashes between MPs themselves. And finally, while they start voting, the MPs from the opposition party, ask can we stand and block the vote and try to block the vote. And so they make the security come to disperse them and to kick them out. So when the vote was happening, a lot of them have already left the room.
Well, we understand that, some opposition presidential candidates are also not agreeing to this decision. Are they planning to challenge this?
I think they have been planning to challenge this since the very beginning, since they heard about the news and the president announced the postponement of the elections. So they are struggling for that not to happen, and they're doing all what's possible at their level to stop it. They call for protests, for mobilization. It seems to be kind of bit challenging for them, for the opposition party, to gather people again for multiple reasons. Not only Macky Sall is not running for the elections, clear, but Sonko is not running either. So that has reduced the number of people engaging into protest. So if you call people to come in the street and protest, it's gonna be a little bit challenging without the same impact as it has been in 2021 or the previous month. But they are eager to do their best for the law not to be reinforced. Let's wait and see what's going to happen in the future.
But however, we have one candidate that is supporting this delay. That's Karim Wade. He's the former ruling Democratic Party presidential candidate. What's his reason? Why is he supporting the delay of the election?
To my understanding, and according to experts and people who really know politics in Senegal, Karim Wade is, of course, yes, an opposition member, but what kind of opposition member? If Karim Wade had double nationality, that's the beginning of the trouble. Karim Wade is French and Senegalese, and the Constitutional Council accepted his document, but then pulled him out of the list, saying that he's French. He said then there will be no vote until everybody is able to participate in the vote. That's how it started. And the parliament support this idea because they think that it will give more time to review the decision of the Constitutional Council of maintaining only those 20 people and give another chance for Karim Wade to run for the elections. And of course, Karim Wade knows that and understands that politically, maybe he has more electoral than the Prime Minister Amadou Ba, which a lot of people say that he couldn't win the vote. And there have to be a strong opposition leader. Maybe I'm thinking of maybe Karim Wade will think he will be candidate not only, which is one reason why he supports the idea, but then if there is coalition, first two elections, second two elections, and there must be a coalition who's gonna be running for the coalition within the opposition. And I know that you, as Kanwi and the PDS of Karim Wade, will not do a coalition in order to run for the second two elections. So my guess is maybe there is a hope that there will be a collaboration between APR, the presidential party, and the PDS.
Well, you had mentioned earlier that, the president says he won't be running again, and he has served the maximum 2 terms. And now he's originally due to leave the office on April 2nd. But with this delay of the election, what is expected to happen?
That's a good question, but it's hard to respond to that question. Anything could be expected to happen. Protests can happen again and things can get worse if he decided to stay for 1 more year in power. For what? First of all, people have decided to give him 6 more months, which the Constitution doesn't even accept. It's against the Constitution, say the experts. And then now he's staying for a whole year. What's going to happen? I'm sure that the opposition will keep criticizing, and some activists will stand on the social net platforms and keep criticizing. And it will also put in question the question of Senegal as a model of democracy in West Africa.
And finally, Madi, how is the public, especially, the electorate, these are the people that are putting these people in power, how are they responding to all that's happened? An election that should have held this month has now been dragged further down to the end of the year.
Especially younger people think that it's not fair and the election should happen no matter what. But then those young people, it's good to mention that a lot of those younger people don't vote. They don't actually vote. They stay at home when the vote happens. They are more into speaking, into protesting, into saying, no, this isn't fair, this shouldn't be this. But people, the older people in general, there is one challenge is they are not even aware of what is happening, what is actually happening. A lot of people don't seem to understand that Macky Sall's mandate finish next April. However, he's gonna stay until December 2024. A lot of people don't understand that, so you don't hear that much reaction from people, from elderly people who often vote, and so it's difficult to put online like the idea of people in general.
All right then, Madi Kamara, Senegalese journalist, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Away from Senegal, about 13 children are dying each day of severe malnutrition at the Zamzam camp in Sudan's northern Darfur as a consequence of the 10-month war in their country. Well, this is according to medical charity Doctors Without Borders, or MSF. The head of emergency response in Sudan, Claire Nicolette, says one child is dying every 2 hours in the camp. MSF says that Zamzam camp, that is housing more than 300,000 people, was originally formed by people fleeing ethnically targeted violence in the region back in 2003. However, since the war broke out between Sudan's military and paramilitary forces last year, April, camp residents have been cut off from vital humanitarian and medical care. Meanwhile, the head of the UN Refugee Agency is warning that Europe may have to deal with a rise in the numbers of Sudanese refugees if a ceasefire agreement isn't signed soon between Sudan's warring factions and relief efforts aren't strengthened. Authorities in the southwestern Somali town of Beled Hawo say 6 Ethiopians are among 7 people that have been killed in an overnight attack by suspected Alshabab militants. The gunmen attacked a compound, killing 5 women and 2 men. The district commissioner of the town, Abdi Rashid Argo, says the 6 slain Ethiopians were ethnic Oromo, while the 7th victim was a Somali woman. She was the neighbor of the Ethiopians and was killed after coming out when she heard the gunshots and shone a light on the attackers. Well, some of the wounded people in that attack have been taken to Mandera, Kenya for treatment, and the victims have since been buried. Well, South Africans can expect an increase of between 72 cents and 75 cents per litre in the price of petrol on Wednesday, with diesel expected to also increase. This is according to data released by the Central Energy Fund, CEF, before the official announcement from the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy this week. Projections for the fuel price in February have steadily deteriorated throughout January, going from no change at the beginning of a significant increase by the end of the month. Well, this is predominantly due to a rise in the price of oil due to the conflict in the Middle East and rising geopolitical tensions.
South Africans will have to dig even deeper into already shallow pockets as the price of fuel is expected to increase significantly in February. While most consumers are recovering from festive season spending and stretched budgets, the latest fuel price prediction from the Automobile Association, AA, points to a steep hike at the pumps from Wednesday. The AA said with household budgets in the red, this new fuel price increase will come as a double blow. Acting National Spokesperson, Parliamentary Coordinator Matthew Parks explains.
We've seen the cost of living really rising. Inflation has peaked at about 7.8% earlier this year. Electricity has gone up by 18.65% this year. It's going to go up by 12% next year. Food inflation, which hits workers the hardest, has really gone out of control. So workers are really struggling. Yet at the same time, you find that government and employers continuously blame workers for the economic crisis. They continually seek to impose wage freezes upon workers in the public and the private sector. We think that government really must do more. We appreciate that government cannot do much about the war in Ukraine and the perennial conflicts in the Middle East, which always push up the international oil price. We're always going to be further exposed as a country because we import oil to these international oil price fluctuations, which then have an impact upon the fuel price. But government can do something about the fuel price tax regime.
While the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy is yet to confirm this increase, the AA said that motorists could expect a litre of 95 octane to climb from 22 rands 44 cents to 23 rands 15 cents a litre. From Johannesburg, South Africa, Innocent Samosa, Channel Television News.
Still ahead on the program. Chinese citizens in Nigeria mark the Chinese Lunar New Year. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the program. 4 suspects have been arraigned in court in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, over a gas explosion that has killed 6 people and injured nearly 300. Well, the main suspect, the tenant of the property where the blast happened, surrendered to the police on Monday, although Derek Kimati has denied any wrongdoing. Well, he appeared at the Milimani Law Courts along with 3 officials of the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA. They are yet to be charged, but local media reports that authorities are considering bringing several charges against them, including murder, abuse of office, and negligence resulting in harm. Their court arraignment comes days after President William Ruto ordered the arrest and prosecution of government officials who allowed the gas plant to illegally operate in a residential area. Well, last Thursday, a lorry carrying gas cylinders blew up just before midnight in a densely populated area of the city, causing several fires. Well, Namibians have held a candlelit vigil in the capital, Windhoek, to pay homage to their late president, Hage Geingob. The much-respected leader, who was receiving treatment for cancer, passed away on Sunday at the age of 82. Well, tributes continue to pour in from around the world for the late president, who was said to be a soft-spoken person, but firm on advancing Africa's agenda as an important stakeholder in global affairs. President Geingob played a central role in what has become one of Africa's most stable democracies after returning from a long exile in Botswana and the United States as an anti-apartheid activist. He also maintained close relations with the United States and other Western countries, but like many African leaders, also forged a warm relationship with China and other global powers. Chinese citizens around the world have been marking the start of another year and the start of spring. In Lagos State, here in Nigeria, the consulate invited members of the diplomatic community, Lagos State government, and members of the Chinese community in the state to celebrate the events. Our foreign affairs correspondent, Amarachi Ubani, reports.
Under the cool, breezy sky of a major hotel in the Lagos metropolis, the Chinese consulate in Lagos holds a big party, one that happens once a year. Only this once-a-year party is the New Year and the Spring Festival. The Consul General, Ms. Yang Yuqing, in her address delivered in Mandarin, sprinkled with some English, welcomed invited guests and wished everyone success in the Year of the Dragon.
I hope all of you have witnessed success, happiness in the Chinese New Year of Dragon, long-lasting China-Nigeria friendship. Thank you all. 谢谢大家.
It was followed by goodwill speeches from a select number of VIPs.
In the vibrant tapestry of Chinese traditions, we find a source of inspiration and admiration. The Chinese Gala is not just a celebration, it is a bridge that connects us across cultures and continents. It symbolizes the beauty of diversity and the strength that comes from understanding and embracing one another.
You contribute to our dynamic economy by providing jobs for our people, by bringing your beautiful and your delicious Chinese culinary tasty dishes. We appreciate that. You bring your science and technology, you bring your commerce, and we can see that your innovations are helping Lagos move forward to achieve the vision of the Greater Lagos Rising through the Blue Line project. Thank you, China. Thank you, Chinese diaspora.
The Chinese New Year is a time for joy It's a time for reunion. It's a time for celebration. It's a time to reflect on the past year and look forward to the opportunities that the future holds.
The event was laced with cultural dances showing the fusion of Chinese and Nigerian values. Even the Consul General could not resist being the center of attraction herself. There's also a return of Chinese goodwill in Lagos.
I thank the Chinese community very well.
The Consul General later speaks on the shared relations.
We often say that Spring Festival is Chinese festival, but it also belongs to the whole world. Especially last year, UN announced that the Chinese Spring Festival will be the international festival. So I'm so glad that the peoples from all over the world, include Nigeria, can together celebrate New Year with Chinese people.
How Nigerian can one Chinese get?
I'm in Nigeria almost 21 years. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Yes, I'm Nigeria also too. Thank you. So far we are here. We appreciate. We thank you. Nigeria friends support us. So we so far here. So we are like one family.
And what's a celebration without some fireworks? "2024 is the year of the dragon, according to the Chinese zodiac. The dragon symbolizing strength, energy, and vitality." Amarachi Ubani, Channels Television News.
From the German Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development is in Nigeria to continue conversations with several federal ministries on issues bordering on skills acquisition, development and export between both countries.
Thank you. Please.
It's a meeting holding at the request of the German Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development, led by the Minister, Venja Scholz.
And also Mr. Chazo, the Director General Small Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria.
The minister comes with a proposal of cooperation between Nigeria and Germany on issues ranging from development of women-led MSMEs, skills development, and talent exports between both countries.
Our cooperation, I want to point out that is in our common interest. Nigeria is Africa's largest and most populous economy, and Germany is an export nation. We are interested in growing markets. So some 90 German companies are already active here in Nigeria, and one reason is that Nigeria has so many creative young people, and that is what companies like to have and why they are here. However, cooperation with Nigeria is also becoming more and more important for the resolution of shared global challenges, such as the climate crisis, but also with a view to peaceful solutions for the Sahel. I'm the Sahel president of the Sahel Alliance of the donors, and we are also aligned in the fight against terrorism.
Her proposals are attractive to the Nigerian government.
I thank you for this visit and your opportunity here today to engage in very important discussions here that promoting continued cooperation between our two countries, particularly in the area of micro and small and medium-scale enterprises, and in particular, women-led micro, small, and medium-scale enterprises. And of course, we are looking at opportunities for skill development and talent export between Nigeria and Germany, a two-way process.
Vice Chancellor Herbeck, and he recommended that we meet with you on specific asks that we had asked. One was on the development of the SME subsector in Nigeria, and the other one was in building skills and certification of artisans, whereby we knew that Germany was interested in a vocational skill worker exchange partnership. And I'd like to inform you that we've been in touch with AHK, and we are in the process of signing an MOU for that to happen. And that will streamline the talent acquisition program and the talent exchange program as we've spoken. And we're very happy to receive you here. And as we already mentioned in the side meeting that we had, you're interested in renewable energy, agriculture, access to finance for MSMEs, increasing access to finance for MSMEs. And that would be a major booster for the industrial sector of the economy. And let me just also cap it up by saying that His Excellency, the President, is highly committed to ensuring that the economy turns around, job creation, reduction of poverty or poverty alleviation, inclusiveness, ensuring the rule of law, and all of this geared towards increasing both capital investment in the country and boosting industrialization.
This meeting is a follow-up to earlier deliberations on the sidelines of the G20 Investment Summit.
And that's it on the program today. Thank you for watching. I'm Layo Olarinde.